1 goal, 6 assists, 7 games. But that's not the real story. The real story is what's happening between those numbers, and why the rest of the Premier League just woke up to a problem they thought they'd solved. Under Amorim, Manchester United tried to control Bruno Fernandes. Structure over instinct, discipline over risk, safety over chaos. And slowly, the spark faded. Go back and watch those final weeks. The shoulders dropping after a misplaced pass. The sideways ball chosen over the killer through ball. The hesitation. A player thinking instead of feeling. Then, January 13th arrived. Michael Carrick walked through the door. And everything flipped. Because Carrick understood something Amorim never did. You don't cage world-class talent. You unleash it. First game, Manchester City at Old Trafford. Bruno received the ball 30 yards out. 3 City defenders closing him down. Most players would have recycled possession, played it safe, reset the attack. Bruno saw something nobody else on the pitch saw. 1 touch, through ball, perfect weight. Defender didn't even turn his head before the striker was through. Guardiola's face said everything. That wasn't a moment of individual brilliance. That was a player who'd just been set free. Let's rewind. Because to understand what's happening now, you need to understand what Bruno became under Ruben Amorim. November 2024. Ruben Amorim walks into Old Trafford with a reputation built on tactical discipline. His Sporting CP teams were organised, structured, defensively solid. And when he looked at Manchester United, he identified the biggest problem immediately. Bruno Fernandes. Not because Bruno wasn't talented, but because Amorim didn't trust the chaos. He saw the Hollywood passes that didn't always connect. The risky flicks that sometimes gave the ball away. The moments where Bruno would thread a ball through 3 defenders when a simple pass was on. And in Amorim's mind, this was the root of everything wrong at United. A captain who needed discipline, not freedom, so he imposed it. Bruno was pushed deeper, sometimes playing almost as a box-to-box midfielder. The areas where he used to operate, those dangerous pockets between the opposition's midfield and defence, suddenly became restricted zones. More defensive responsibilities, more tracking back, less instinct. The through balls that used to split defences? Discouraged. The ambitious switches of play. Too risky. The no-look passes, the audacious flicks? Coached out of him. Amorim wanted Bruno to be a metronome. Reliable, safe, predictable. And you could see it happening in real time. Watch Bruno in those final moments and you'll see a different player. The hesitation before every ambitious pass. The backwards ball chosen over the killer through ball. A creative genius second-guessing his own instincts. The spark that made him special slowly dimming. He was playing with a handbrake on. United became more solid defensively. The midfield stopped leaking goals. But the attack? Toothless. Manchester United sat 6th in the table, grinding out draws, barely creating chances. And Bruno, the captain, the player who was supposed to make the difference, looked ordinary. The whispers started. Maybe he's finished. Maybe at 30, this is the decline. Maybe modern football has evolved past players like him. Players who gamble, who take risks, who play on feeling. 14 months of this. 14 months of watching one of the Premier League's most creative midfielders being forced to play like someone he's not. Then, January 5th, 2026 arrived. Amorim was sacked. 8 days later, Michael Carrick walked through the door. And Bruno Fernandes finally took a deep breath. Because someone was about to give him permission to be himself again. Michael Carrick's first conversation with Bruno was simple. Play a game. That was it. No complex tactical instructions. No detailed breakdown of defensive responsibilities. Just 3 words that changed everything. Carrick gave Bruno back the number 10 role. The position where he thrives. The position where he's most dangerous. Operate between the lines. Find the pockets. Create. Attack. Be yourself. Permission to be Bruno Fernandes again. And the transformation, immediate. Carrick's first game in charge. Manchester City at Old Trafford. The biggest test possible. Bruno scored the opening goal. Not from a set piece. Not from a scrappy rebound. A moment of pure quality. He ran the midfield battle against one of the best teams in Europe. The captain stepped up when it mattered most. 2-0. Statement made. 3 days later, Arsenal away. Bruno orchestrated a 3-2 comeback win. Then Fulham, another 3-2. Then Tottenham at home, and against Spurs, Bruno was unplayable. 2 assists, both from passes that shouldn't have been possible. Vision, timing, execution. He pulled Tottenham apart, finding gaps that didn't exist, creating chances from nothing. This was the Bruno that everyone remembered. The one who makes defenders panic. 4 games, 4 wins. Bruno at the heart of all of it. But here's where it gets truly ridiculous. 6 assists in his first 7 games under Carrick. Bruno has 12 assists this season in the Premier League. He leads the entire league, and half of them, 6 of them, came in just 7 matches under the new manager. Think about that. Months under Amorim, 6 assists. 7 games under Carrick, 6 assists. This isn't luck. This isn't a purple patch. This is a player completely unleashed. The numbers tell the full story. Bruno is now averaging 3.39 key passes per match, the most of any United player. He's creating almost 1 big chance every single game. His influence is constant, relentless, but statistics only capture part of it. Watch him play now and you'll see the difference immediately. The confidence is back, the arrogance, the absolute certainty that he can hurt you from anywhere on the pitch. He's attempting passes most midfielders wouldn't even consider, threading balls through impossible gaps, finding teammates with disguised passes, no-look flicks, outside of the boot crosses. The handbrake isn't just off, it's been thrown out the window. But the numbers only tell half the story. What's really changed is how Bruno plays. The confidence is back, the arrogance, the unshakable belief that he can see passes nobody else on the pitch can even imagine. He's attempting forward balls from positions where most midfielders would recycle possession. He's receiving under pressure in tight spaces, inviting defenders in, then escaping with a swivel, a flick, a disguised touch that leaves them chasing shadows. Carrick gave him one clear instruction: operate in the final third as the main coordinator. Not sit deep, not play safe, create, decide, dominate. And Bruno is thriving. He's a proper number 10 again, living between the lines, drifting into pockets between midfield and defense, constantly scanning, constantly moving. He drags defenders out of shape. He creates overloads. He manufactures space where none exists. And the passing range? Back to its ruthless best. Diagonal switches that stretch a back line. Through balls weighted perfectly to split 2 defenders. Cutbacks rolled into acres of space. Since Carrick took over, Bruno is creating over 3 goal-scoring chances per game. That isn't just good form. That's elite production. Against Tottenham, 2 assists, both from passes that looked impossible the moment he struck them. Fulham, decisive again. West Ham, Brighton, Burnley. Influence stamped all over the game before coming off early. It's not a hot streak, it's control. 6 of 7 games under Carrick, full 90 minutes. Trusted, empowered, given ownership of the attacking structure. This isn't Bruno being allowed to play. This is Bruno being built around. And that changes everything. Carrick saw what Amorim missed. You don't force Bruno Fernandes to play like a holding midfielder. That's not his game. Trying to turn him into a positionally rigid, conservative player is like asking Messi to sit deep and defend. It's a complete waste of what makes him special. So Carrick's system is built around freedom. Bruno has license to roam, to find space, to attempt passes others wouldn't even see. Yes, his pass accuracy sits at 84%. He gives the ball away sometimes, but when you're attempting the impossible, that comes with the territory. The rewards dwarf the risks. And what makes Bruno truly dangerous now is his unpredictability. Opposing managers can't prepare for him because he operates everywhere in the attacking third. He drops deep to collect, drives forward at pace, ghosts into pockets between the lines, makes late runs crashing into the box, hovers on the edge waiting to strike. How do you stop a player that can hurt you from anywhere? Press him high? He'll play through you with one pass. Sit off? He'll create or shoot. Commit numbers? He'll find the free man with a disguised ball you never saw coming. Bruno Fernandes at his best is an unsolvable problem. And right now, he's at his absolute best. 6 of the last 7 games, goal or assist. The only exception? Arsenal away in a match United still won. That's not form. That's world-class reliability. This is the Bruno the Premier League should fear. Not the one Amorim tried to tame. Not the one forced into defensive responsibilities. The one given freedom, trust, and complete control of the attack. Because when Bruno plays with confidence and joy, when he's allowed to be himself, he's genuinely world-class. The evidence is everywhere. Leading the entire Premier League in assists. Creating more chances than anyone at United. Playing with consistency and influence that few midfielders in Europe can match. Manchester United have won every match where Bruno has been unleashed like this. That's not coincidence. That's what happens when you stop fighting your best players' instincts and start building around them. Michael Carrick made one decision that changed everything. He stopped trying to control Bruno Fernandes. He trusted him, gave him the number 10 role, gave him freedom, gave him one instruction. Go create, go decide, go dominate. And Bruno has done exactly that. 6 assists in 7 games, leading the entire Premier League. Over 3 goal-scoring chances created per match. The captain is back. The creativity is back. The fear is back. Manchester United are winning again. 4 straight victories. And at the centre of everything, splitting defences, controlling games, making the impossible look routine. Bruno Fernandes. Not the version Amorim tried to tame. Not the player forced to play it safe. The real one. The one who sees passes before they exist. Who attempts what others wouldn't dare. Who plays with absolute conviction that he belongs in those moments. This is what the Premier League feared all along. Because when you give world-class talent permission to be world-class, when you build your system around what makes them special instead of trying to suppress it, they don't just perform, they dominate. The handbrake is off. The shackles are gone. And Bruno Fernandes is becoming exactly what the Premier League was afraid of.